Hi everyone, I'm April and you're watching the Tangled Cat Speaks, and this is episode number 23. So here I am again on the floor. I'm still packing. It's just a slow process, but I figure if I do it little by little every day, then it's not so overwhelming where it becomes, like a rush right at the end where I have to move. I should be moving probably next weekend, so I may not be uploading a video next weekend. Kind of iffy. I'm not sure. It just depends on where we're at with the move, but just giving you a heads up, I may not. I'll just show you. I've got a few boxes next to me. It's just been an adventure going through all of my stuff. I still have a few things left. Sorry, I have an itch on my chin. I still have a few things left in my closet. I've already got all the kitchen packed up, the bathroom stuff, most of my yarn, all my clothes. I think I've just got like some knickknacks and stuff that I gotta pack up, and then I gotta go through the garage. Ew. I'm not looking forward to that one at all. But slowly but surely. So let's get into some knitting. I had told you that I was going to use the rest of the yarn that I had made the Mad Mix socks with, and I had finished those last week. I designed a cowl. I was working some overtime the other day, and I found myself doodling and taking notes and trying to, figure out numbers and stuff, and I came up with a cable and mesh pattern. And this is the result. It's really, the yarn is really dark and it's really hard to see. Plus the lighting in here is terrible, but there's cables and mesh, and it's a short cowl, and it can also be worn as a headband. It's very snug. I would put it on right now. I had actually planned to, but I had taken it to work to show my friend, and it was in my purse, and for some dumb reason I put a bottle of water in my bag as well, in my purse as well, and it was open. I thought I had tightened it all the way, but I guess I didn't. So everything in my purse got wet, but I didn't realize it till hours later. So it's wet. It's damp, so I'm gonna have to pin this out again just to show you, but just to show you, here's it's kind of hard to see because my yarn is very dark, but I've got cables and mesh running up the cowl. I'm gonna have to try to knit it in a lighter color so maybe I can show it better, but it was super quick, super easy, and I did write everything down, and I uploaded the pattern onto Ravelry. So if you'd like, you can go check it out. I'm the Tangled Cat on Ravelry, and it's in my Ravelry store. So I hope you would like to take a look at that. So I finished that. Check. And I did start my socks for the Brown Bagging It Sock Club in June, and the yarn that I had in my bag was this yarn, and this is actually a really good representation. It's like a bubblegum pink and some purple, lavender, and different shades of brown. Now this yarn is 3 Irish Girls. I'm gonna have to put it here so I can I'm gonna have to look it up because I don't remember the name of the sock. I think it was, I don't remember. I don't remember, but it is a sport weight. The colorway is called Maureen. Now this yarn is not my favorite yarn. I love 3 Irish Girls, but this isn't my favorite. What happened was I sometimes go through Ravelry stashes to see what people are selling, and I'm very in love with 3 Irish Girls and Pandia's Jewels, so I tend to go see if people are selling any of those that I don't have. And one woman was selling a bundle of skeins. She was selling them in a bundle at a really good price. I think there was 5 skeins, and there was 3 that I really, really wanted. The other 2 were just kind of meh. I have already used one of the other ones that I was kind of meh about. But this one I've had for the longest time because this really is not something that I love the colors, but I can't see myself wearing it. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I love the brown. I love the pink. I love the purple. But together in this wild variegated form, I just don't see me wearing it practically. But this is what I chose for the Brown Bag Knit Sock Club. I'm going to use my stash. Dang it, I am going to use it. Brown and determined. So I decided, well, the reason why I decided this is because the Grocery Girls is doing their theme for their monthly sock to get a second entry is fraternal socks. So basically you would have like a reverse. You can do anything from like knitting the body of the sock in one color and switching the heels and toes, using the heels and toes, switching the whole thing for the second sock. Something along those lines is what they are asking for. So I chose this blue. I love this blue. I love this blue so much. This is another 3 Irish Girls yarn, and it is the most beautiful royal blue. This was on their, I don't know if it's Beckon or Brecken. I think it's Beckon. But it's called Trinity. Oh, I wish you could really see how, no, kind of. I almost wanted to show you. It is just, it's not navy. It's like a beautiful royal blue. I love this color. Did I say it's called Trinity? It's Trinity. So pretty, but I've had this one for the longest time too because I just couldn't bring myself to cake it up because I knew that it was going to be a disaster because it had fallen off of one of my shelves one day a few years back when I had a different cat, and he was a menace. My cat now, Agatha, she does not get into my yarns. I can leave it laying around. She couldn't care less. She kind of, if she's sitting next to me and the yarn is going, you know, in front of her, she'll get tempted and she'll swipe at it or sometimes try to bite at it. But for the most part, she just leaves my yarn alone. I can put it leave it on my chair and get up and she wouldn't even care less. But this other cat, oh, he was so beautiful. He was a Flame Point Siamese. And I had named him Legolas because Lord of the Rings. But he was a menace. He was just, he knew the difference between the animal fiber and the acrylic. He left my acrylic alone. He left my cotton alone. But any of the animal fibers, my wool or my alpaca, he was all over. It was a chore to keep him away from my yarn, and I had left my closet door open one day, and this beautiful, beautiful skein had fallen off the shelf, unbeknownst to me, and I come home from work and I can see that he had gotten to it. There was breaks all over on the outside of the skein, and it was very knotted, you know, kind of like he got his back claws in there and was just wrestling with it. I almost cried. I was so sad. So it had been sitting there on my shelf. I mean, I knew there was going to be a big chunk that was still good. This is about 75 grams. The other 25 ended up in 6 smaller little balls. I had it on the Swift, and I was just trying. It took me a good hour and a half to get all of it caked up, or the little balls, you know, balled up. I should have brought those 2 to show you, but they're in the other room. But I was just so disappointed. I knew that was going to happen, so it stayed in my closet forever, and I finally decided I'm going to use it and see if I can tone down some of the wildness of this with this. So what I decided to do was the Block Party Socks by, I think it was Catherine C. And what it is, it's like a mosaic slip stitch pattern, and I was gonna do the heels, toes, and cuff in one color. Of contrasting color would be my blue. And then on the other sock, it would be reversed. So the main color this is what it looks like so far. It really didn't tone down the wildness, maybe a little bit, because that other one ended up really stripy. So now it's really kind of hard to see the distinctive stripes of the blue, not stripes, the blocks. But in the second sock, this will be blue and these will be reversed. It'll be a very subtle fraternal sock because the pattern is basically the same, but like holding it here, it would be shifted like over one. So this solid block of blue will be this over here. It'll be the same basic pattern, and from far away you won't really be able to tell, but if you hold them really close together, you'll be able to see. I don't know if that's different enough to qualify for the Grocery Girls thread, but these are actually really fun to make. This took me only a couple of hours to get through, and I'm thinking because it's one, mosaic, two, it's sport weight, and I'm making these on 2.75 needles, and it's only 60 stitches around, so it's going by super quick. I'm already here on the heel flap, and I'm using the Eye of Partridge. I love doing the Eye of Partridge with a variegated yarn because it just kind of makes it look almost like a faux Fair Isle. So that's where I'm at now. We'll see how different the other sock ends up looking when I reverse the main color and the contrast color. I'm pretty sure that this is going to look very similar, but we'll see. I am reversing them 100%, but it may not look like it from far away. But that's okay. If it doesn't qualify for Grocery Girls, I'm still happy with them. I'm just glad that I'm kind of using that yarn. And actually, I don't think I'm going to finish all of this. This was supposed to be 100 grams. And this ended up weighing in after I caked it up and I put it on my little scale. It weighed in at 140. So this is almost like a skein and a half. So I've got tons of this yarn that I am not even all that in love with. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know. I have no idea. But I mean, it was a good bargain to get 5 skeins. You know, 3 out of the 5 I really loved. And it's still pretty. It's just not my favorite. So, but hey, it's all about the knitting, right? So whatever. So let's see. I had also mentioned that I was going to get back to working on my addition by subtraction shawl, which was the mystery knit along that I was working on by Tri-Stitchual Designs, and that it also involved a murder mystery story that goes along with the pattern. I decided to rip that out. I finished clue 1 and I got about halfway through clue 2, and the whole time, okay, so what it is you're basically holding all 4 yarns together and you're doing an I-cord edging and trying to make that look clean because you're basically striping every row, well, every 2 rows. If you don't make it tight enough, then it looks sloppy on the edges because you're changing colors so often. A normal I-cord edging is simple and it's rather stretchy enough for the rest of the project. But this one was because I'm trying to get it to, you know, I always had a new strand every couple of rows. It was just looking sloppy if I didn't make it tight enough. And the further along that I was getting, the pattern itself, the rest of the pattern itself was great. The different stitch designs were just fun. But the bigger it got, the more I noticed how tight that I-cord was, and the rest of it was loose because it's a fingering weight on a size 6. So the body of the shawl is supposed to be very open, very loose and drapey, and that edging was just so tight. And I kept trying to make it looser so that it would stretch more, but then my I-cord just looked really messy, and it was just really frustrating me. So I ended up just deciding to rip it out. So I went and I looked at different patterns that would use about the same amount of yardage with the 4 colors, and I decided on finally doing my second ever Stephen West design, and I chose the Exploration Station, and I started working on that today, and this is about where I'm at, and I am really enjoying this. I'm having so much fun with it, and I wish you could really see how pretty all of these colors are, but my lighting is terrible. But I'm having so much fun with this, and I'm much happier, and you know, this really does prove what I was worried about, because this has I-cord edging, but I mean, it's the right tension for the rest of the shawl, where the other one was just super, there was no give whatsoever, and yet this was very springy and open. So it was not working. So I'm glad that I made the choice to pull it out. I'm still loving the murder mystery story that went with that pattern. I'm just not loving the I-cord edging. So unfortunately, I did have to scrap that one. And you know, it happens. I think it turned out beautiful for most people, and I don't know if I'm the only one that was having issues with the I-cord looking either too tight or sloppy. I don't know. I don't recall anybody in the threads mentioning that they were having issues, so it's probably just something with me. I don't do a lot of I-cord, and doing I-cord, holding, you know, trying to tuck in the 3 strands and have the working strand, and then try to make sure that it's all nice and neat and tidy. It wasn't working for me, so I had to give up. But I am getting pretty far on, that's the back side. No, that was the front side. That's just all my ends already. That is going to be a bummer. This is going to have so many ends. But so did the other one, the Holy Chevrons that I did. That one had a lot of ends too, and that is like one of my most favorite shawls. So I'm having a really good time working on the Exploration Station, but my camera's just not, or the lighting is not doing it justice right now. So yay, I'm going to be working on that, and I'm very excited about it. What else? Yarn. The last time I think I talked about yarn that I had gotten from Chemknits Creations on Etsy. She's the one that I watch here on YouTube, and she dyes the yarns using different techniques and different types of yarns. I believe that I got these off of her shop. I think that this one was, this was food coloring. And she did not mail me the skein looking like this. I have opened it and then tried to retwist it, and it just looks terrible. But it's worsted weight, 100% wool. I don't think that it's superwash. I don't believe that this is superwash, but this is food coloring. I believe she was attempting to use metallic food coloring to see if it would show up metallic on the yarn. It doesn't look like it has, but it's so pretty. It's not gray. It's different shades of lavender. And then this one she did is also the same worsted weight, 100% yarn, or wool, I'm sorry, 100% wool. But this is with a synthetic dye. I think she's using the Jacquard acid dyes, and it just turned out so pretty. And I bought these actually separately. I think I bought this about a month or 2 ago, and this one just within the last couple of weeks. But I thought, you know, they're both worsted. They both came out so pretty. The purple and then the lavender and cream. I just love it. So I think that these are going to be something together. I don't know what. I haven't knit anything in worsted in a very long time, so I'm kind of excited for something to go super fast. And purple. Who doesn't love purple? So I'm very, very excited about that. So Chemknits Creations on Etsy. That's where I got these from, and I love it. I think I've talked about her a lot. And I also told you all that I was reading my ghost story, Sarah Rain, Property of a Lady. This is a really good book. I am really, really enjoying it, and I get so into it, and my son will walk by and inadvertently make a noise that startles the heck out of me, and I'm like, ah! I'm about halfway through now, and I'm totally enjoying it. I'm so glad that I decided to get it. I was hoping that I wasn't going to be disappointed, and I'm not. I'm really, really loving it, and I think there's 4 or 5 other books that she's written with the same character, so kind of like a series. So I'm definitely going to look into those because I am very much enjoying this. And there was, I told you, I've mentioned before, my library has a free cart, and they get rid of books that people have donated, or they also get rid of a lot of books that they've taken off the shelves because of a lot of wear and tear. From time to time, they'll do that. But I found this one. It's very thin, very short book. And the reason why I was kind of drawn to it first was because it's Alexander Dumas, and I think that he was the one that did it just went right out of my head. It's I can't think of it. I'll have to post it here, but The Count of Monte Cristo. I think that he did that. I'm not positive, but I think so. For some reason, I have his name in my head for that. And I've never read Camille, but the one thing that drew me to this, that made it like, you know, because I was like, I'm moving. Why do I need another book? Okay, it's thin. That's fine. But was the inscription. Somebody bought this back in 1979 for their daughter. And I'm just going to read it because I just think that this is the sweetest thing. It says, "Happy 15th birthday to our sweet Camille. Hope you enjoy reading this classic play. It made for a good movie also. Have a wonderful year, dear daughter. Loving you very much, Mom." It was just so sweet. She decided to get this book, this play called Camille, for her daughter Camille's 15th birthday. And this was 1979. And it's, I don't know, I just was feeling sentimental, and I just thought that was pretty cool. You know, who knows? Here it is, however many years later, and this book, who knows how many hands it's been in, or maybe it's been in the same family for a very long time, and there was an estate sale for whatever reason. You know, it's just a few generations have already gone by since young Camille got this book, and here it is now in my hands, and I just think it's the sweetest thing. So that's the main reason why I got this. But the inscription really got me, and I thought, oh, it's short, I'm gonna get it, and it's just super sweet. So there's that. I know sometimes the silliest things, I'm a silly woman. That's okay, it's my prerogative. So I've been watching this other podcast. I just started watching her. I find that I have to turn my volume up to hear her, though, because she's very soft-spoken. But it's called, I think it's called In a Pickle. She's such a sweet lady, and I think she used to be a teacher. I don't know, like she taught school to young children. So I just like her, the way that she talks. She's just so soft-spoken and sweet, and she talks about her knitting, and she talks a lot about books, children's books that she likes, and how she related it to her students when she was teaching. She's just so sweet, and I kind of want to go out and get all of these, you know, these little kid books, because she just keeps recommending them, and I just want to read them. So I'm really into her. I believe it's called In a Pickle. So that's what I'm kind of binge watching now to get caught up with her, because I'm caught up with all of the other podcasts that I have been watching. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, I just found Poldark on Netflix. I've been watching that TV series. How did I not know about this thing? It's already about to start. I think the 4th season is about to come out, and I just watched the first 3 seasons on Netflix. I just totally watched the all 3 seasons in like 2 days. Oh my gosh, how did I not know about this? It's so good, like crazy. I'm so into it. So that's what I've been doing. I just got my just got the 7th season of Vera, which is I think I can't remember if it's Ireland or Scotland where that's set at. But she's an older woman. She's a detective, and you know she's just cranky and a little bit grumpy, but she's smart, man. I just love watching her. I think I like watching her because she's different. She's not, young and wearing sexy outfits and always in these compromising positions. She's just out there in the nitty gritty, just a badass woman out there just solving crimes. I just love watching her. So it's Vera. I just started watching the 7th season, and I just also started watching finally I got it, the 5th season, and I think it's the last ever season of Elementary. I'm sad about that. Very bummed. I love that show. I love Lucy Liu so much. So it's kind of a bummer, but that's what I'm watching now. What else? I just watched The Star. It's an animated movie about the animals during the birth of Christ, and it was a really cute movie, but I didn't know that at the very beginning of the movie, the song that they're playing, like, as the during the opening scenes or whatever, it's Carol of the Bells by Pentatonics. And I haven't really mentioned how in love with Pentatonics I am. They're an a cappella group who got their start on a TV show called The Sing Off. And this was years and years ago, like I think it was 2011, 2012, around there. And then after they won that season, they ended up going to YouTube and making music and uploading them onto YouTube, kind of like how we're doing now. But they did it with music, and that's kind of that was their big platform, and that just vaulted them into this worldwide phenomenon. And I love Pentatonics so much, and they did a Christmas album years ago, and it just so happened I was just watching this movie that a little piece of their version of Carol of the Bells is on that. So I was super excited. I had no clue, and then I'm like, oh, I recognize that. So I was very excited. Yeah, I'm actually very happy because Pentatonics is coming to Albuquerque in the end of July, and I've got my tickets. I'm ready to go. The day that they has said that they were going to release, so you can start buying your tickets, I had an alarm set for that day so that I can be right there and get tickets right away. So I'm so happy. I'm going to go and see them perform, and I think they're going to be doing their newer music. I did see them last summer, but they didn't come here. I had to go all the way to Kansas. That was the closest venue during that tour, and that was my first ever Pentatonics concert. And I think that was actually my second ever in my life concert. Before that was Metallica that same summer. I have never been to a concert until I was 45 years old, so that's crazy. So I saw Metallica for my first ever concert. My second ever concert, I went all the way to Kansas to go see Pentatonics. I went by myself. It was just, a trip all by myself. I took, I was a big girl, and I took the airplane all by myself, and I talked to strangers. And that sounds funny, but I'm an introvert, and I hardly do anything by myself. So I had my kids with me on everything else, or back when I was married, I was never really by myself. So this was my second ever trip that I had gone really far and done something on my own. So that was last year. So this year I'm going to see them again, and it's a different, one of the band members that was with them for years stepped back and they have another person filling that spot now. So this will be my first time hearing him live. So this will be really exciting, and my son's gonna go with me this time, and it'll be his first concert with them. So sorry, I'm blabbing on about Pentatonics, but I just love them so much, and I was super, super happy when I just randomly heard the snippet of their song on in that movie. So sorry, that was my little ramble. I'm going to go ahead and end it right here so that I can get a little bit more knitting done on my exploration station, because I'm obsessed already. And I do have a little bit more packing that I got to do, or that I want to get done before I go to bed. So thank you for joining me for this episode, and thank you for coming back. For anybody who's new, thank you for trying me out. I will see you all hopefully next week, but I'm not making any promises. And I hope that you all have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.